I'm delighted to have you as part of this community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome aboard as we set sail on a journey through Malayalam cinema. Malay cinema. Malayalam cinema is the segment of Indian cinema dedicated to the production of motion pictures in the Malayalam language, which is widely spoken in the state of Kerala, India. In 1982, Elippathayam won the Sutherland Trophy at the London Film Festival and Most Original Imaginative Film of 1982 by the British Film Institute. The film Marana Simhasanam has won the prestigious Caméra d'Or at the 1999 Cannes Film Festival. Rajiv Anchal's Guru 1997, Salim Adaminte Makan Abu 2011, Lijo Pellissery's Jallikkattu 2019 and Jude Anthony Joseph's 2018-2023 were Malayalam films sent by India as its official entries for the Best Foreign Language Film category at the Academy Awards. Other films which achieved global acclaim include Chemmeen 1965, which received a Certificate of Merit at the Chicago International Film Festival, and a gold medal at the Cannes Film Festival for Best Cinematography. Swaham 1994 won the Bronze Rosa Camuna at the Bergamo Film Meeting in Italy. The first film produced in India, My Dear Kuttichathan 1984, was made in Malayalam. The first CinemaScope film produced in Malayalam was Thacholi Ambu 1978. The first Malayalam feature film was Vigathakumaran, a silent film directed and produced by J. Celsius. Daniel. Production started in 1928, and it was released at the Capitol Theatre in Thiruvananthapuram on 23 October 1930. The first talkie in Malayalam was Bela 1938, directed by South. Notany. During the years, the Malayalam film industry was based in Thiruvananthapuram, although the film industry started to develop and flourish only by the late years. Later the industry shifted to Chennai, formerly Madras, which then was the capital of the South Indian film industry. By the late years, the Malayalam film industry returned and established itself in Kerala with the majority of locations, studios, production and post-production facilities being located in Kochi. Kochi is the hub of the Malayalam film industry. As of 2018, Malayalam cinema has got 14 awards for the Best Actor, 6 for the Best Actress, 12 for the Best Film, and 13 for the Best Film Director at the National Film Awards, India. Now, let's delve into the intricacies of history and explore its various aspects. Thumba Pritot Vigathakumaran, a scene from Vigathakumaran, the first Malayalam feature film. Active Malayalam film production did not take place until the second half of the 20th century. There were only 2 silent films and 3 Malayalam language films before 1947. With support from the Kerala state government, production climbed from around 6 a year in the years to 30 a year in the years, 40 a year in the years, to 127 films in 1980. Moving ahead, let's uncover the hidden gems within Origins 1928 and discover their significance. The first cinema hall in Kerala, with a manually operated film projector, was opened in Thrissur by Jose Catocran in 1907. In 1913, the first permanent theatre in Kerala was established in Thrissur town by Catocran and was called the Jose Electrical Bioscope, now Joe's Theatre. The first film made in Malayalam was Vigathakumaran. Production started in 1928, and it was released at the Capitol Theatre in Thiruvananthapuram on 23 October 1930. It was produced and directed by J. Celsius. Daniel, a businessman with no prior film experience, who is credited as the father of Malayalam cinema. Daniel founded the first film studio, the Travancore National Pictures Limited, in Kerala. A second film, Marthandavarma, based on a novel by Celsius, V. Roman Pillai, was produced by Asunda Raj in 1933. However, after only being shown for 4 days, the film prints were confiscated due to a legal battle over copyright. The first talkie in Malayalam was Balan, released in 1938. It was directed by South. Notany, with a screenplay and songs written by Muthakalam Raghavan Pillai. It was produced by Modern Theatres at Salem in the neighbouring state of Tamil Nadu. Balan was followed by Nanambika in 1940, which was directed by South Notany. Then came Prolida in 1941, directed by Kelvin Subramaniam of Madras and featuring Guru Gopinath and Thankamani Gopinath. Until 1947, most Malayalam films were made by Tamil producers. P.J. Cherian was the first Malayali producer to venture into this field after J.C. Daniel. P.J. Cherian produced Nirmala in 1948 with Joseph Cherian and baby Joseph, his son and daughter-in-law, as hero and heroine. He also cast many other family members in other roles, trying to break the taboo that noble family people do not take up acting. Thus Nirmala set many firsts for introducing playback singing. P.J. Cherian introduced playback singing in Malayalam cinema. The lyrics of the film, written by G. Sankarakurup, became popular. Udaya Studios' Velanakshatram 1949 was the first movie with audio to be made completely in Kerala. As we enter this new phase, let's uncover the impact of Urs on our broader topic. Malayalam cinema has always taken its themes from relevant social issues and has been interwoven with material from literature, drama, and politics since its inception. One such film, Jeevitha Nauka 1951, was a musical drama that spoke about the problems in a joint family. In 1954, the film Neelikil captured national interest by winning the President's Silver Medal. It was scripted by the well-known Malayalam novelist Arub, and directed by P. Bhaskaran and Ramu Kuriat. Newspaper Boy 1955 contained elements of Italian neorealism. This film is notable as the product of a group of amateur college filmmakers. It told the story of a printing press employee and his family being stricken with extreme poverty. The music took a turn away from the trend of copying Tamil and Hindi songs. The poets Tirunay Nakrichi Madhavaner Thirunay Yakrichi, P. Bhaskaran, O North, V. Kurup, and Vela Ramavarma rose up in this period as film lyricists. Brother Lakshmanan, Dakshinamurthy, Kelvin Raghavan, G. Devajan, M. South, Babra, and Pakenthi Velapan started a distinct style of Malayalam music. Kamukara Purushothaman, Medboob, Kaikode Abdul Kader, Amplitude Modulation Raja, P.B. Srinivas, Kelvin He Udayaban, Santha P. Nair, He Leela, South, Janaki, P. Sashila, B. Vasantha, Renuka, and Jiki were the most prominent singers of the Urs. The drama artist and school teacher Muthakalam Raghavan Pillai lent many of his skills to the cinema in this period. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting Urs and exploring its implications in greater detail. Ramu Kuriat, one of the directors of Neelikil along with P. Bhaskaran, went on to become a successful director in the Urs and Urs. P. Bhaskaran directed many acclaimed and hit films in the Urs ands. The cameraman of Neelikil, A. Vincent, also became a noted director of the Urs and Urs. Notable films of this decade include Adale Ninu, Bhargavi Nilayam 1964, Chemmeen 1965, Morpanu 1965, and Irritant Uthmavan 1966. Malayalam cinema's first colour film was Kandam Bachakot 1961. Chemmeen 1965, directed by Ramu Kuriat and based on a novel of the same name by Thakotsi Sivasankar Pillai, went on to become very popular and became the first South Indian film to win the National Film Award for Best Feature Film. Most of the films of the Urs were animated by the nationalist and socialist projects and centered on issues relating to caste and class exploitation, the fight against obscurantist beliefs, the degeneration of the feudal class, and the breakup of the joint family system. In the Urs, M. Krishnan Nair, Kunchako and P. Subramaniam were the leading Malayali producers. Thikarusi Sukumaran Nair, Prem Nazar, Sathyan, Madhu, Ajur Basi, Bahoda, S.P. Pillai, K.P. Amma, Kotarakaya Sridhar Nair, Raghavan, G.K. Pillai, Muthakalam, Joseph Prakash, Parvabharatan, Muthaya, Shankaradi, Govindankati, Hea Vijaya, Padmini, Rajini, Sharada, Sheila, Ambika, Jayabharathi, Arumila Ponama and Sadhana were among the more popular actors active in this period. During the Urs and Urs, Kunchako made significant contributions to Malayalam cinema, both as a producer and as director of some notable movies. He started Udaya Studios in Elippathayam in 1947, reducing the travel to Madras, Chennai for film crew and actors. This boosted Malayalam film production in Kerala. Many directors sprang up in this period. He N. Menon made Rosie and later Chemparathi. G. Iravindan and Adu Gopalakrishnan also started work in the ERS and became famous later. As we enter this new phase, let's navigate the complexities of ERS and discover its practical applications. This saw the emergence of a new wave of cinema in Malayalam. The growth of the film society movement in Kerala introduced the works of the French and Italian New Wave directors to the discerning Malayali film enthusiasts. Adu Gopalakrishnan's first film, Swayamvaram 1972, brought Malayalam cinema to the international film arena. In 1973, M.T. Vasudevan Nair, who was by then recognized as an important author in Malayalam, directed his first film, Nirmalayam, which won the National Film Award for Best Feature Film. G. Iravindan followed Adu's lead with his Usarayanam in 1974. Kelvin. Kumaran's Adithi 1974 was another film that was acclaimed by the critics. Cinematographers who won the National Award for their work on Malayalam films in the ERS were Mankada Ravi Varma for Swayamvaram 1972, P. South. Nivas for Mohiniyattam 1977, and Shaji North. Karun for Thampa 1979. John Abraham, Kelvin. R. Mohanan, Kelvin. G. George, and G. South. Panika were products of the Pune Film Institute who made significant contributions. During the late ERS, some young artists started seeing Malayalam cinema as a medium of expression and thought of it as a tool to revitalist society. A noted director, Iravindan, was famous in Kerala as a cartoonist before he started making films. His important movies include Kanchana Sita 1977, Thampa 1978, Kamati 1979, Chidambaram 1985, Orithu 1986, and Vastuhara 1990. The ERS also saw the emergence of the notable director P.G. Viswambharan with his debut film Ahukinethaya and the mythical film Satyvan Savitri, which were well accepted. Also, commercial cinema in this period saw several worker-class themed films which mostly had M.G. Saman, Sukumaran and Sudhir in the lead, followed by the emergence of a new genre of pure action-themed films, in a movement led by Jayan. However, this was short-lived, and almost ended when Jayan died while performing a stunt in Kolelakam 1980. Now, we shift our focus to ERS, a topic that deserves our attention. The Malayalam cinema of this period was characterized by detailed screenplays dealing with everyday life with a lucid narration of plot intermingling with humor and melancholy. This was aided by the cinematography and lighting. The films had warm background music. In 1981, Fazil directed Manjal Virinjapukal. The film also introduced then romantic star Shankar actor and later actor Mohanlal to the world. Adu Gopalakrishnan made Elippathayam in 1981. This movie won the British Film Institute Award. The year 1981 also saw the rise of actor Mammootty through the movie Sutherland directed by P.G. Viswambharan. In the ERS, Padmarajan made some of the landmark motion pictures in Malayalam cinema, including masterpieces like Oridithoru Failvan 1981, Kudivide 1983, Thinkalacha Naladivasam, Orapata Ketaya Gramophil 1986, Namaku Park and Monthirithapikal 1986, Thuvanathamikal Ermunam Pakam 1988, Inal 1989 and Season 1989. He wrote several short stories that were unique in content and presentation. His novels handled the darkest emotions and considered as classics. Most plots were nascent for that age literature. All works were so cinematic and can be easily visualized to the celluloid version. K.G. George released films including Yovanika and Adaminte Varielu. This was the period during which scriptwriter M.T. Vasudevan Nair started teaming up with director Hariharan to produce works like Panchani, Nakhakshathangal, Arnukam and Oru Vadokan Virgatha. John Abraham's films such as Ama Arion addressed people's issues and raised the finance directly from people. The period had movies with humor from directors like Priyadarshan, Satyan Amthikad, Kamal and Siddiq Lal. Piravi 1989 by Shaji North. Karun was the first Malayalam film to win the Camera d'Or mention at the Cannes Film Festival. Rafish and Sukumaran also were leading stars in the industry in the early 80s. By the end of this, Mammootty and Mohanlal also established themselves as the leading actors in Malayalam. The mid-90s saw the emergence of low-quality Malayalam softcore films made with fairly low budgets. They were remarked as B-grade films and were certified as fit for adults only rated. These films emerged parallel with the mainstream Malayalam cinema. In 1986, roughly 14 of the 32-odd films released were classified as B-grade films. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of Urs and its fascinating intricacies. Some examples are Mathilakal 1990 directed by Edgar Gopalakrishnan, Kuttichathan 1990 directed by P.G. Viswambharan, Amaram 1991 directed by Bharathan, Alodakam 1992 directed by Kamal, Tilakam 1991 directed by Priyadarshan, Kamaladalam 1992 by Siddhi Malayal, Bidhayan 1993 by Edgar Gopalakrishnan, Deedaram 1993 by Ivisazi, Manichitrathazu 1993 by Faisal, Punthanmula 1993 by T.V. Chandran, Spedicum 1995 by Badran, Commissioner the King 1995 by Shaji Kailas, Hitler 1996 by Siddiq and Disidanam 1997 by Jayara. Due to a series of comedy films produced between the late Urs and late Urs made actors like Jagadish, Siddiq, Mukesh, Srinivasan and Jayaram became very popular for their comedy roles. This series of comedy films began in the late Urs and early Urs, with comedy films by Satyan Amthikad and Siddiq Lal like Ponmatte Natharavu, Mazavilkavodi, Ramji Rao Speaking, Thalayana Mantharam, in Harihan and Godfather, and some of them went on to be remade by other directors in Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, and other languages. The success of In Harihanagar led to the production of a series of comedy films in the early and mid-Urs. Swaham 1994, directed by Shaji North. Karun was the first Malayalam film entry for the competition in the Cannes International Film Festival, where it was a nominee for the Palme d'Or. Roy Nayar's Marana Simhasanam later won the Camera d'Or at the 1999 Cannes Film Festival. Guru 1997, directed by Rajiv Anchal, was chosen as India's official entry to the Oscars to be considered for nomination in the Best Foreign Film category for that year, making it the first film in Malayalam to be chosen for Oscar nomination. Noted scriptwriter A.K. Lothadas made his directorial debut with Bhutha Kennedy, for which he won the Indira Gandhi Award for Best Debut Film of a Director. Now, we shift our focus to Urs, a topic that deserves our attention. The millennium started with the blockbuster hit Narasimham starring Mohanlal. In 2001 came the world's first film with only one actor in the cast, The Guard. Slapstick comedy was the predominant theme of the films of this era. C.I.D. Musa 2003 by Johnny Anthony, Misa Madhavan 2002 by Lal Jose and Kunji Kunin 2002 directed by Sazi Shankar are examples. Sequels to a number of successful films were made. Some movies were examples of exemplary filmmaking, such as Megamolha, Madhuranambarkatu, Nandanam, Paramazakalam, and Kacha. In 2008, Malayalam movie artists came together in the Maltese Film 20 to raise funds for the AMMA. The 2000-2003 period also saw witnessed the Shakila Tharangam that resulted in the series of production of low-budget softpan films in Malayalam cinema. The continued failure of comedy films and the theatre strikes in Kerala that started in the early years were the major reasons behind the comeback of B-grade films in Malayalam. Around 57 of the total 89 films released in 2001 belonged to the soft porn category, and Shakila featured in many of them. In this section, we'll be exploring Urs. After several years of quality deterioration, Malayalam films saw the signs of massive resurgence after 2010 with the release of several experimental films known as New Wave or New Generation films, mostly from new directors. New Wave is characterized by fresh and unusual themes and new narrative techniques. These films differ from conventional themes of the ers and have introduced several new trends to the Malayalam industry. While the new generation's formats and styles are deeply influenced by global and Indian trends, their themes are firmly rooted in Malayali life and mindscapes. The new generation also helped the Malayalam film industry regain its past glory. Salim Ahmed's Adaminte Makan Abu was chosen as India's official entry to the Academy Awards to be considered for nomination in the Best Foreign Film category in 2011. Christian Brothers 2011 was released worldwide with a total of 310 prints on 18 March. It went to 154 centres in Kerala, 90 centres outside Kerala and 80 centres overseas, making it the widest release for a Malayalam film at that time. This record was later broken by Peruchai 2014, which released in 500 screens worldwide on 29 August. Drishyam 2013 became the first Malayalam film to cross the 500 million mark at the box office. The film was critically acclaimed and was remade in 4 languages. Later, in 2016, Pulamugan, directed by Vishak, became the first Malayalam film to cross the 1 billion mark at the box office. In recent years, Malayalam films have gained popularity in Sri Lanka, with fans citing cultural similarities between Sinhalese people and Malayalis as a reason. In 2019, Lucifer became the highest-grossing Malayalam film of all time. Lucifer became the highest-grossing Indian film in Dubai. The film collected a final gross of 2,000 million at the box office. Let's now turn our gaze towards ers and explore the fascinating connections it has to offer. In November 2020, Lijo Jose Pellissery's film Jallikkattu was selected as India's submission for Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film, making as third Malayalam film as entry. In 2020, amid the COVID-19 lockdown, Sutherland, starring Jayasuriya and Aditya Rao Hydari, has become the first Malayalam film to be released on the Amazon Prime Video OTT platform as theatres remain shut in Kerala due to the pandemic. In 2021, Drishyam 2, Nayattu, Kola, Joji, The Great Indian Kitchen and Malik made their list in the highest-rated 2021 movies in IMDb. Malayalam cinema's first-ever original superhero Minal Murali was released through Netflix on 24 December 2021. Tovino Thomas as Minal Murali, which was directed by Basil Joseph under Weekend Blockbusters, gained great reviews by critics and became top-watched non-English movie on Netflix. It broke all records of Malayalam cinema trailers on YouTube, crossing 6 million views and likes in 24 hours. In 2023, Disaster Film 2018 was selected as India's submission for Oscar for Best International Film. Malayalam cinema enjoyed unprecedented box office success in early months of 2024, with worldwide box office collection of Malayalam films touching 900 crores in the first quarter. Malayalam cinema achieved its first calendar year 1,000 crore worldwide gross by May. As of 24 May, total worldwide box office gross stood at 1,030 crores, including 660 crores from India and 370 from overseas. The films that led the success story were Manjumal Boys, Odujeevatham, Pramalu, and Offsham, all of which earned over 100 crores at worldwide box office. The success is attributed to wide critical acclaim, themes that resonated with the audience, and tapping into other state markets. As we embark on the next leg of our journey, let's unpack the layers of pioneering filmmaking techniques and examine its core elements. Newspaper Boy 1955, a neorealistic film, drew inspiration from Italian neorealism. Paidiotum 1982 is India's first indigenously produced 70mm film, while My Dear Kuttichathan 1984 is India's first film. O Fabi 1993 is India's first live-action animation hybrid film. Caméra in 1986 is the first film made in India with money collected from the public. It was produced by Odisha Collective, founded by the director John Abraham and friends. The money was raised by collecting donations and screening Charlie Chaplin's film The Kid. Moonamathral 2006 is the first Indian film to be shot and distributed in digital format. Jallikkattu 2010 is the first Indian feature film shot entirely on a camera phone, and it was also an experimental film directed by Sarfish Kalafal, who is the director of Veenavadhanam, the first documentary film in India shot with the same movie capture medium. Villain 2017 is the first Indian film to be shot entirely in IC resolution. Vahai 2022 is the first found footage film of Malayalam cinema. As we transition, let's shed light on directors and its relevance to our ongoing exploration. Malayalam cinema's directors have included J. Celsius Daniel, the director and producer of the first Malayalam film, Vaigathikumar in 1928. Unlike other Indian films at that time, most of them were based on the Puranas. He chose to base his film on a social theme. Though it failed commercially, he paved the way for the Malayalam film industry and is widely considered the father of Malayalam cinema. Until the years, Malayalam film didn't see many talented film directors. The milestone film Neelakil 1954, directed by Ramu Kuriat and P. Bhaskaran, shed a lot of limelight over its directors. Ramu Kuriat went on to become a celebrated director in the years and years. P. Bhaskaran directed a few acclaimed films in the years. The cameraman of Neelakil, A. Vincent, also became a noted director of the years and years. Another noted director of the years was P. Ramadas, the director of the new realistic film Newspaper Boy 1955. In the years, the Malayalam film industry saw the rise of film societies. It triggered a new genre of films known as parallel cinema. The main driving forces of the movement, who gave priority to serious cinema, were A. Gopalakrishnan and G. Aravindan. People like John Abraham and P. Ibaka gave a new dimension to Malayalam cinema through their political themes. The late years witnessed the emergence of another stream of Malayalam films, known as middle stream cinema, which seamlessly integrated the seriousness of the parallel cinema and the popularity of the mainstream cinema. Most of the films belonging to this stream were directed by P. N. Menon, I. V. Sazi, P. G. Viswambharan, Kelvin, G. George, Bharathan and Padmarajan. In the years and early years, a new array of directors joined the stalwarts who had already made a mark in the industry. This period saw the narrowing of the gap between the different streams of the industry. Directors like P. G. Viswambharan, Kelvin, G. George, Priyadarshan, I. V. Sazi, John Abraham, Fazal, Yoshi, Badran, Kamal, Sibi Malayal, Harihan, Sathyan Anfikid, Kelvin, Madhu and Sidikil contributed significantly. There were also extraordinary screenwriters like M. T. Vasudevan Nair, T. Damodaran, A. Kelvin, Lothadas and Srinivasan, whose contributions were also commendable. The years saw a decline in the quality of Malayalam films. Many directors who had excelled in the golden age struggled as many of their films continuously failed critically and commercially. As a result, the gap between parallel cinema now known as art cinema and mainstream cinema now known as commercial cinema widened. The years also saw a commercial film formula being created in line with Tamil cinema and Hindi cinema films. Directors like Shaji Kailas, Rafisa Makartin and Omar Rashid directed blockbusters which had few artistic merits to boast of. Despite the overall decline, some directors stood apart and made quality cinema. Shaji North, Karun, Lenin Rajendran, Shima Prasad and J.R. made films that won laurels. Notable directors who debuted in this time include Blessy, Lal Jose, Sharath, Ranjit, Roshan and Aruz, Amal Neered, Ashik Abu, Dr. Biju, Vineth Srinivasan and Lijo Jose Pellissery. Out of the 40 National Film Award for Best Direction given away till 2007, Malayalam directors have received 12. The directors who have won include Adua Gopalakrishnan 1973, 1985, 1988, 1990, 2007, Gia Abingdon 1978, 1979, 1987, Shady North, Kroon 1989, TV Chandran 1994, JRN 1998, 2017 and Rajivnath 1999. There are several recipients of the Special Jury Award as well. Mankada Ravi Varma 1984, John Abraham 1987, Shady North, Kroon 1995 and Pradeep Nair 2005. Let's now venture into the realm of film music and explore the fascinating intricacies it holds. Film score, which refers to playback singer in the context of Indian music, forms the most important canon of popular music in India. The film music of Kerala in particular is the most popular form of music in the state. Before Malayalam cinema and Malayalam film music developed, the Malayali eagerly followed Tamil and Hindi film songs, and that habit has stayed with them until now. The history of Malayalam film songs begins with the 1948 film Nirmala, which was produced by artist P.J. Cherian, who introduced playback singing for the first time in the film. The film's music composer was P. South Divakar, and the songs were sung by P. Leela, T. Kelvin, Govindara, Vasudeva Korup, Celsius, Kelvin, Raghavan, Sarojini Menon and Vimala B. Varma, who is credited as the first playback singer of Malayalam cinema. The main trend in the early years was to use the tune of hit Hindi or Tamil songs in Malayalam songs. This trend changed in the early years with the arrival of a number of poets and musicians to the Malayalam music scene. By the middle of the years, the Malayalam film music industry started finding its own identity. This reformation was led by the music directors Brother Laxmanan, G. Devarajan, V. Dakshinamurthy, M. South, Bubra and Kelvin, Raghavan, along with the lyricists Vela Ramavarma, P. Bhaskaran, O. North, V. Korup and Srikumaran Thampi. Major playback singers of that time were Kamukara Purushothaman, Kelvin, P. Udayaban, A. M. Raja, P. Leela, Santha P. Nair, A. Rosadasivan, Lalitha Thampi, Celsius, South, Badidivi, A. Kelvin, Sudhumaran, B. Vaisantha, P. Sushila, P. Madhuri and South, Janaki. Despite that, these singers got high popularity throughout Kerala and were part of the golden age of Malayalam music 1960 to 1970. In the later years, many non-Malayalis like Manna Day, Talat Mahmood, Lata Mangeshkar, Asha Bosal, Hemlata, Kishore Kumar, Mahendra Kapoor and South P. Balasubramaniam sang for Malayalam films. This trend was also found among composers to an extent, with film composers from other languages including Naushad, Shakana, M.B. Srinivasan, Ravi, Shyam, Api Lahiri, Laxmikant Bial, Sal Chowdhury, Ilayaja, Vishal Bhardwaj and A.R. Rahman scoring music for Malayalam films. This can be attributed to the fact that film music in South India had a parallel growth pattern with many instances of cross-industry contributions. The late years through the mid-years can be considered as the golden period of Malayalam film music in its own identity. Along with the leading music directors, the likes of M.B. Srinivasan, M. Kelvin, Arjunan, Pukant Velapan Nair, M. South, Viswanathan, A.T. Amma, R. Kelvin, Shikhar, Salil Chowdhury and lyricists like Thirnana Karachi Madhavan Nair, Mankambu Gopalakrishnan and Bharanikavu Sivakumar. Numerous everlasting and hit songs were delivered to the music lovers. The soft melodious music and high-quality lyrics were the highlights of these songs. K.J. Yesudas, who debuted in 1961, virtually revolutionized the Malayalam film music industry and became the most popular Malayalam singer ever along with Kelvin, South, Chithra. The trio of Vela, G. Devarajan and Yesudas also made unforgettable songs like the earlier trio of Kamukara, Tirne Nakrichi and Brother Laxmanan. Yesudas became equally popular with classical music audience and people who patronized film music. He, along with P.J. Chandran, gave a major facelift to Malayalam playback singing in the years and years. Kelvin, South. Chithra debuted in 1979, and by the mid-80s, she became the most sought-after female singer in South India. By the late years, the trends in music started changing and more rhythm-oriented songs with a Western touch came with the dominance of music directors like Shyam, Kelvin, J. Joy, and Jerry Amaldiv. The lyricists were forced to write lyrics according to the tune in these days and were often criticized for quality issues. However, from 1979 to 1980, the revolutionary music director Ravindran, along with Johnson and M.G. Radhakrishnan, led the second reformation of Malayalam film music by creating melodious and classical-oriented music with the soul of the culture of Kerala. Lyricists like Puvachal Keda, Kavalam Narayana Panika and Bikku Thirumala in the Urs and Kathapram Damodaran Namboothiri, V. Madhusudan Nair and Girish Puffentry in the Urs were part of this musical success. Contributions from Kannarigin, Ravi, South, P. Venkatesh, Mohan Sithara, Asapachin, Sharath, Vidyaharan, Raghukumar and Vidyasagar were also notable in this period. Kelvin, J. Yesudas and Kelvin. South. Shithra and singers like M.G. Srikumar, G. Venugopal, Radhika Thilak, Ani Menon and Suratha Mohan were also active then. A notable aspect in the later years was the extensive of classical Carnatic music in many film songs of the Urs and Urs. Classical Carnatic music was heavily used in films like Shitram 1988, His Highness Abdullah 1990, Bharatham 1991, Sagam 1992, Kudambasametham 1992, Sopanam 1993, etc. At present, the major players in the scene are composers like A.R. Rahman, M.J. Chandran, Bijabal, Deepak Dev, Rex Vijayan, Jakes B. Joy, Rahul Raj, Prashant Pillai, Sean Rahman, Sachin Shyam, Gopi Sundar, Alphonse Joseph, Rajesh Mohushan, Jassi Gift, Shahbaz Oman, Vishu Vyade, lyricists Rafiq Ahmed, Omar Oli, B. Kelvin, Harinarayanan, Vinayak Sasikama, Sarth and Anil Panajuran, and singers Vineth Srinivasan, Sri Ghoshal, Shankar Mahadevan, Vaya Yesudas, Shrita Mohan, Karthik, Norsh Iyer, Manjari, Haricharan, Shahbaz Oman, Sithara Krishnakumar, Vaikam Vijayalakshmi, Kelvin. South. Harsankar, Sayanara Philip, Benny Dale and Jyotsna Radhakrishnan, along with stalwarts in the field. Young composers like Deepak Dev, Rex Vijayan, Rahul Raj, Jakes B. Joy, Sachin Shyam, and Prashant Pillai are not only known for their catchy tunes, but also for bringing in a lot of electronics, digital sound and a variety of genres in Malayalam film scores and songs. The National Award-winning music composers of Malayalam cinema are Johnson 1994, 1995, Ravi 1995, Asapachin 2008, Layarda 2010, Isaac Thomas Kochikapalli 2011, Bijabal 2012 and M.J. Chandran 2016. Until 2009, the 1995 National Award that Johnson received for the film score of Sukrutham 1994 was the only instance in the history of the award in which the awardee composed the soundtrack rather than its playback singer. He shared that award with Bombay Ravi, who received the award for composing songs for the same film. In 2010 and 2011, the awards given to film scores were won by Malayalam films Kerala Varma Pazhasi Raja Ilayaraja and Adaminte Makan Abu Isaac Thomas Kochikapalli. Ravindran also received a special mention in 1991 for composing songs for the film Bharatham. The lyricists who have won the national award are Velo Ramavarma 1973, O North, Vikurup 1989 and Yusufali Kekri 2001. The male singers who have received the national award are Kelvin, J. Yesudas 1973, 1974, 1988, 1992, 1994, 2017, P. J. Chandran 1986 and M. G. Srikumar 1991, 2000. Yesudas has won 2 more national awards for singing in Hindi 1977 and Telugu 1983 films, which makes him the person who has won the most National Film Award for Best Male Playback Singer, with 8. The female singers who have won the award are South, Janaki 1981 and Kelvin. South, Shithra 1987, 1989. Chitra had also won the award for Tamil 1986, 1997, 2005 and Hindi 1998 film songs, which makes her the person with the most National Film Award for Best Female Playback Singer awards, 6 times. Now, let's shift our focus to Kerala State Film Awards and embark on an intellectual exploration of its various dimensions. The Kerala State Film Awards are given to motion pictures made in the Malayalam language. The awards have been bestowed by Kerala State Chalitchitra Academy since 1998 on behalf of the Department of Cultural Affairs of the Government of Kerala. The awards were started in 1969. The awardees are decided by an independent jury formed by the Academy and the Department of Cultural Affairs. The jury usually consists of personalities from the film field. For the awards for literature on cinema, a separate jury is formed. The Academy annually invites films for the award and the jury analyses the films before deciding the winners. The awards intend to promote films with artistic values and encourage artists and technicians. As we embark on the next leg of our journey, let's unpack the layers of International Film Festival of Kerala and examine its core elements. The International Film Festival of Kerala IFFK is held annually in Thiruvananthapuram, the capital city of Kerala. It was started in 1996 and is organized by Kerala State Chalitchitra Academy on behalf of the Department of Cultural Affairs of the state government. It is held in November-December every year and is acknowledged as one of the leading film festivals in India. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting film studios and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. The Travancore National Pictures was the first film studio in Kerala. It was established by J. Celsius Daniel in 1926 in Thiruvananthapuram, which was then a part of Travancore. Producer-director Kunchakko and film distributor Kelvin Vikoshi established Udaya Studios in Alappuzha in 1947. The studio influenced the gradual shift of Malayalam film industry from its original base of Chennai, Tamil Nadu to Kerala. In 1951, P. Subramaniam established Maryland Studio in Nimam, Thiruvananthapuram. The other major studios are Sri Krishna 1952, Thiruvananthapuram, Ajantha 1958, Kismadu now extinct, Chitralika 1965, Acclaim, Thiruvananthapuram, Yuma Studio 1975, Thiruvananthapuram, Navadaya 1978, Trikakara and Chitranjali Studio 1980, Thiruvananthapuram. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards organizations. The Association of Malayalam Movie Artists Omama is an organization formed by artists of Malayalam cinema. It aims to act against piracy, to safeguard the interests of member actors and actresses, and to serve as a common forum to raise concerns and address issues. The activities of AMMA include endowments, insurance schemes, and committees on wages and benefits on revision, funds for research, pensions, and education loans for the children of the members. The organization ventured into film production in 2008 with 20 to raise funds for its activities. Organizations such as Kerala Film Producers Association, Kerala Film Distributors Association, Kerala Sign Exhibitors Federation, Hyperlink Film Club and Kerala Film Exhibitors Association have coordinated work stoppages. I love hearing from you, so leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments.